Today, we will talk about should you include crypto in your retirement plan. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether have shown impressive historical performance as an asset, beating the performance of gold, stocks, and real estate by a huge margin over a decade. While past performance isn't indicative of future results, investors believe that cryptocurrencies could play a critical role in a diversified retirement portfolio, offering the potential for high returns and a hedge against inflation. Setting up your retirement goals. Setting up a retirement target depends on various factors, and your target may differ significantly from others. But generally, you can use this simple calculation to come up with a rough estimate. First, estimate your yearly living expenses during retirement. You generally need about 70% to 80% of your pre-retirement income to maintain your lifestyle. If you currently earn $100,000 annually, plan for $70,000 to $80,000 per year in retirement. Next, estimate your potential post-retirement income, including pensions, rental income, interests, and dividends. We'll call this annual post-retirement income. Lastly, determine the number of years you expect to live in retirement. It's common to use the average lifespan in your country, but it's recommended to add a few more years to this number. If you plan to retire at the age of 65 and your country's lifespan is 80 years, then you'd need to live in retirement for 15 years. How did crypto perform in the past? Crypto has shown impressive historical performance, especially the leading coins, Bitcoin, BTC, and Ethereum, ETH. Bitcoin, launched in 2009, is the first and most valuable cryptocurrency. If you invested $100 in Bitcoin in July 2010, when the price was around $0.06, it would be worth around $50 million as of mid-2023. That's a total return of 900% over a 13-year span. Ethereum, launched in 2015, introduced the world to smart contracts and decentralized applications. If you had invested $100 in Ethereum during its initial coin offering, ICO, in 2014 at $0.31 per coin, your portfolio would be worth around $580,644 in total as of mid-2023, when Ether is worth around $1,800. But these extraordinary long-term performance is coupled with extreme volatility. If we look at Bitcoin's yearly returns, you'd see that its prices increased 5,500% in one year and dropped more than 80% in another. But there are a couple of key takeaways looking at the two leading cryptocurrencies' past performances. One is that the longer you stay invested, the higher the returns you'd have gotten. Using 2023 as a benchmark, if you had stayed invested in Bitcoin for 1 year, your return would be 59% versus 1,133% for 3 years, 4,686% for 5 years, and 876,509% for 10 years. Another critical insight is that crypto, and Bitcoin in particular, outperformed most other assets by a huge margin. For instance, Bitcoin outperformed gold. Bitcoin has an average annual return of 1,576% and a total return of 18,912% from 2010 to 2023. Bitcoin prices were extremely volatile during the first year after its launch, which is why the long-term return numbers differ significantly depending on which price one uses for 2010 as a benchmark. While SPDR Gold shares had an average return of 5% and a total return of 62%. Bitcoin has also outperformed stocks. Using the S&P 500 index as a benchmark, investing $100 in the index in 2010 would yield an average annual return of 15% and a total return of 412% until 2023. Even compared to some of the best-performing single stocks like Apple and Amazon, Bitcoin beat them by a significant margin. Apple and Amazon would have given you a total return of 399% and 427% during the same period. Bitcoin outperformed real estate too, as the Vanguard Real Estate ETF had an average annual return of 14% and a total return of 162% over the same time frame. While past performance isn't indicative of future results, cryptocurrencies, especially established and prominent coins like Bitcoin and Ether, have exhibited exceptional long-term returns despite price volatility. Understanding monetary policy and inflation. When we examine the past performance of crypto, gold, stocks, and real estate in the previous section, we didn't factor in inflation. Inflation is a sustained increase in the price level of goods in an economy over a period. Inflation reduces the purchasing power of money, meaning your money loses its value over time. That's why inflation is a key factor to consider when planning for retirement. Several factors contribute to inflation. One of the most significant factors is the government's power to print money at its discretion. This increases the supply of money. If the amount of products remains unchanged, but the amount of money increases, the price of the products would naturally increase. One thing to keep in mind is that the world's major central banks have printed unprecedented amounts of money in the tens of trillions of dollars since the global financial crisis in 2008. Core inflation in the U.S. averaged 4.48% per year between 2020 and 2023 for an inflation total of 14.04%. That means your 15% average annual return in the S&P 500 index would only be 10% after factoring in inflation. Of course, in many other countries, inflation is much higher. This means your investment returns could be much lower after factoring in inflation. In extreme cases, monthly inflation is as high as 50% or more in countries like Argentina and Zimbabwe. Such a scenario is called hyperinflation, which usually brings economic havoc. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether have distinctively different dynamics. Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin's mysterious creator, set the total supply of Bitcoins to a hard cap of 21 million coins. New Bitcoins are created at a decreasing rate, going through a halving event roughly every 4 years. Given its finite and deflationary supply, Bitcoin is often likened to digital gold. Similar to gold, Bitcoin is seen as a store of value, a hedge against inflation, and an asset distinct from traditional financial markets. Similarly, Ether is increasingly being considered a deflationary cryptocurrency since its transition from proof of work (POW) to proof of stake (POS) consensus mechanism in 2023. Even though Ether had been an inflationary crypto at its inception, the native coin of Ethereum is seeing more Ether burned than the number of coins entering circulation for most of 2023. This is largely due to an upgrade called EIP 1559 implemented in 2023 that burns transaction fees instead of rewarding them to the network's miners. When you plan your retirement, it's critical to think about the fixed supply of Bitcoin and Ether's decreasing supply. There are also other cryptocurrencies that have similar characteristics. Particularly, you need to consider inflation, your country's monetary supply, and your local currency's long-term stability. How much of your retirement funds should you allocate to crypto? You should remain careful in your approach when adding crypto to your retirement pot, considering all the risk factors and your own risk tolerance. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile and can be risky, so they should only form a small portion of a diversified portfolio. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.